Hi paper crafters, this is Robin from Robin's Creative Cottage, and today I have a really fun project I want to share with you. First, I would like to show you my tie blanket. This is a baby blanket that my daughter and I made, which is a no-sew, very simple, easy blanket to make. The tutorial that I'm showing you today is not actually for the blanket, but I just wanted to show you the blanket because I'm going to do a turtle shaped card that matches a little bit with this blanket. So that's going to be my project today, is the turtle shaped card. I'm using the Create a Critter handbook to choose my images for my project, and on page 64 is the image that I'm going to use, and that's the turtle, and I'm going to use the shadow image for my card base and these images that I'm pointing out here. And because I'm making a little girl turtle, I wanted to use a bow, and here on page 62 is the hedgehog, and there's a bow right there, and that's the bow that I'm going to cut out. Here are my images all cut out, and this is the two turtles that I've welded together, and then I cut an extra one that's the same size, and this is the shadow image, and then I cut two of the green. This green looks brighter than it is actually. And then I used a floral for the shell, and then the two bows. The first thing I like to do is to score my shape card. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll fold it in half. I'm using the white paper just so you can see the black a little easier. So then I just fold it in half and then give it a good crease with my bone folder. And then this is the reason that I cut out my extra shape. So because when that turtle is folded in half, then that way this image will actually show up. And then I realized here that I put glue on his head, which I didn't need, so I'm just wiping it off a little bit with the baby wipe. So then I'll attach it to the shape. And then this just gives it a full turtle image by adding that extra layer. And then I'll go ahead and just start gluing on my layers. And I cut out two of this shape just because I wanted to put one right next to the black cardstock, and then the second one I'm going to go ahead and just pop sticky back foam sheets. Now there's lots of different colors, so I chose one that coordinated with the color of my cardstock, and this matches pretty well. So I'll go ahead and just lay the sticky back foam, and it just peels off. You can also use the foam sheets that are not sticky back. You just use it the same way. You just would add glue on it instead of using the sticky back. I have both, and I have used both in the past. Once I have all the foam stuck down, then I go ahead and use my liquid glue and just put it on those sheets. Now if I didn't have the sticky back, this is what I would use for both sides of the foam sheet. Using the colored foam sheet, it just makes it so that the white, I normally use white mounting tape, but this just helps so you don't see all that white. So it's kind of just another fun thing to do. I almost forgot about my turtle's face, and I'm using my Peachy Keen stamps for the face, so I'm just lining up to see which face I want to use. So once I've chosen my face, I go ahead and attach it to my acrylic block. I was hoping it was going to stamp well since I had already mounted it onto my double layer, so I was a little careful when I was stamping. But it did stamp beautifully. Normally I would have stamped this before I put my layers together. Now I'm just going ahead and gluing on my layers. And this baby card is actually for my friend, and this is her very first baby girl. And so I'm so excited to make this card for her. So just continuing adding my layers, and this turtle is looking really cute. I'm liking the colors. For my sentiment, I'm using the My Craft Spot New Arrival stamp set, and I use the word "We're Tickled Pink." And so I'm going to go ahead and I've already stamped it, and I'm just going to trim it out on my paper trimmer, just deciding where I want to place it. And I just cut a little bit of a banner look, a little flag on there. And then I'm going to back that onto just some white cardstock. Using the My Craft Spot crinkle ribbon to tie a bow, and I've just tied one bow and then trimmed the edges, and then I'm just looping around and tying another bow around that one, so it's kind of like a double bow. So, and I'll just trim the edges off, and then I'm just using one of my Wild Orchid Craft roses. I just trim the stem and then put a little bit of hot glue, and I'm going to add this onto my bow. And then while that is cooling down, I'm going to go ahead and with the tag, I'm going to pop it up. So again, I'm just going to grab a little bit of this foam and then cut a piece off and add to the back of my banner. And then once I decide the placement of where I would like things, I have this little teeny safety pin. And it's just a little tiny one, and I'm just trying to decide where to put it. I want to add it just because it's a baby card, and I thought this little safety pin would be very cute. And then I decided to grab a few of my beads. These are from Stampin' Up! And decide to add 3 little beads onto my little safety pin for now. And then I'll decide where I want to put it on my turtle in just a few minutes. And since I have my hot glue gun, I go ahead and just use that to attach my tag, my banner, and then a little bit of glue to put my bow with my flower. And my turtle is looking really cute. So again, just fiddle with that pin to decide where I want to put it. And did decide to go ahead and just attach it right to the edge of that loop of the bow right there. To add the bow to my little girl's head, and when I placed the pink one on, it just didn't look quite right. So I used the pattern paper and cut out the bow, and then I cut out 2. This pattern paper was quite thin, and so I glued the 2 pattern paper pieces together just to make it a little bit more sturdy. And then I just went ahead and just put it on top of my turtle's head. A little bit more glue right on her turtle's head, and then thought a flower would be super cute, and my flower came apart, so I went ahead and used my glue gun to glue it back together. Just add a little bit of hot glue. I'm just kind of fluffing up the leaves a little bit so they stick out, and then I'll add a little bit of hot glue right to the back of that and add it right to the bow. Oh, that's sweet. Isn't she a sweet turtle? So for the inside of the card, because it's black, I wanted to be able to have something that I could write on and write a little message to my friend. So I cut out 2 turtles in white, and I'm going to place them on the inside of my card. Here are the 2 turtles, and so I'll place them on the inside of my card, but I'm just marking with the pencil because I need to trim off a little edge where that fold is. So once I just mark that, I'll just line it up on my paper trimmer, and then just trim off a little bit on the top of the turtle and where his head is, and then it will fit nicely on the inside of my card. And I did 2 because I wanted to stamp on the top one. Now this time I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the same My Craft Spot New Arrival stamp set, and there's a really cute saying on this, so I'm going to remember to stamp it on my paper before I glue it. There, I had to stick my head over so that I could line it up well, and you saw my hair. Okay, so I'll just clean off my stamp really quick. I'll add the glue to the back of the pieces that I'll put on the inside of the card. Glue that down. And there's my Create a Critter turtle card right with my blanket. I think they look great together. Don't you think? Thanks so much for watching today. Have a great day, everyone.